Hello gang, welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock command block tutorial video. Today I am going to show you guys how to make one of Dagon's abilities. He's a character from JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, and basically what this ability does is it makes it so that he can spawn a bunch of fish to go like attack whoever he wants to attack. He can just basically manipulate like sea creatures. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment any suggestions you might have, and subscribe. I appreciate it a ton. Let's get straight to the showcase. Alright guys, really quickly, just wanted to let you know, me and Recon made a Discord server for you guys to join if you need help or have any suggestions, want to see like sneak peeks and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to join you can, and link for that will be in the description. So this is what happens when you're holding the actual Death Swarm item. As you can see, Recon is holding it in his hands. You can see the like water particles you get and stuff, and then I also think it gives you speed, strength, resistance, and jump boost, so you can go ahead and yeah, and then you can like move faster. You can see that. Also, your punches do more damage as well too. So, but what the main ability does is if you crouch. Okay, well I didn't think that was gonna work because I'm in creative. But as you can see, Recon summons a bunch of fish and then they come attack me. And you also can't see right now, but there is a cooldown on Recon's screen. But if I do go in adventure mode and then use it on me, yeah, it's pretty annoying. But if you're able to, you have like disaster flames or something equipped, you can kill most of the fish by just using an ability on them. So that means it's pretty OP because it's ranged. You can do it from almost anywhere, but you can also stop it pretty easily if you have the right ability. I'm gonna go ahead and get disaster flames really quick, and then we're just gonna 1v1 with that. Yeah.
Alright, go.
We're a lot faster than me. Oh. Let me just, yep. The only thing is you're super fast. Where did you go? Bro.
Oh shoot.
There we go. Oh. Okay, yeah, as you can see, it's pretty useful in PvP. It's pretty annoying. Alright, now I am going to go fight a bunch of husks. Alright, now that you've all seen how annoying the ability itself is, I'll show you guys how to make it. So let's get straight to the tutorial. Alright guys, so first we're going to start with the setup like usual. You're going to want to make the scoreboard, and that's going to be scoreboard objectives add, and then DS dummy. It's going to say an objective already exists for me, but for you it will add that objective. After that, go ahead and give yourself a command block, give yourself a structure block, a structure block, and then give yourself the item that you want to use. I'm going to be using a fire coral. You can use something else if you want, but if you don't want to change around the commands, I recommend just using the fire coral. Make sure the amount is 1 and the data is 10. Give yourself that. You're going to want to name it Death Swarm. Take that out. Place down your structure block, then you're going to want to make the offset 0, 1, 0 and the size 1, 1, 1 for one single block of air on top of the structure block. Then make sure include entities and remove blocks is on. Set the name to Death Swarm. Go ahead and drop that in there. Save it. Take it out, and then you can put that out of your inventory. After that, you're going to want to give yourself a barrier block, and you want to cover all these sides of your structure block except for one, which can be anywhere on the bottom. After that, put water on top of your structure block, and then what you're going to want to do is set up these two command blocks right here. This one is going to be repeating and always active, and it's going to basically say that it teleports any tropical fish within a radius of 5 on top of this block right here. So for those coordinates, literally just stand right here, go to block position, get those coordinates, and then put them in here. Except, yeah, you're gonna maybe want to change it to one block up. After that, this is gonna be chain, unconditional, and always active. It's going to tag those same tropical fish within a radius of 5 with Dagon fish 1. Now, after this, what you want to do is go ahead and summon tropical fish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've summoned 5 of them, and then what you're going to want to do is save this as fish spawn 1. Then go ahead and kill all of the tropical fish within a radius of 5. Go into here and change this to 2. Spawn another 5 fish. Then you want to save that as fish spawn 2. Yours won't be tweaking out like mine are, but save that. Kill them again. Next, change this to 3. Summon 5 more fish. Save that as fish spawn at 3. Kill them again. Go into here. Change this to 4. Spawn 5 more tropical fish. And then go into here. Change it to fish spawn 4 and save that. Oh yeah, then you kill the fish again. If that part was a little confusing, make sure to let me know in the comments if something doesn't work. I will come help you with that. Also, all of these commands are going to be linked in the description if you just want to copy and paste this stuff. So yeah. Alright, now we're back up here and we're going to do the giver, which is going to tag the player with Death Swarm unless they already have the Death Swarm tag. After that, chain, unconditional, and always active. By the way, guys, whenever I open up a command block, be sure to check the block type, condition, and redstone, because sometimes that's important. And then this is going to be the confirmation message, which says, at P, that player who has the tag, equip Death Swarm. After that, this is going to run the structure load command at that same player, Death Swarm structure that we just saved for the item, and then it's going to load it into that player's inventory with these coordinates. Put that back. Moving over here, this is just going to remove the DS tag from that player. After that, it's going to clear at P, the same player, of fire coral, data being 10, so it doesn't clear just any fire coral, only the one that we saved earlier in the structure block. After that, it's going to run a scoreboard command and reset the player's score for DS. Alright, so starting off with the first tower, it's going to be repeating, unconditional, and always active. It's going to execute as the player who is holding the fire coral, data 10, in their main hand, and also that has the tag. So if you used a different item, make sure to change where it says fire coral right here. You have to change that. At S, and then this detects for the player's hitbox to see when they crouch, and then unless the entity already has the score or any score, that would make it so that this command doesn't repeat for when you get a score above 1. Moving up from that, chain, conditional, and always active. Basically, this command is going to start the exact same, except it's going to check for if there are any entities within a radius of 20, which you can see right here, and if there aren't any entities within a radius of 20 besides armor stands, items, XP orbs, minecarts, or tropical fish, it is going to add 25 to that score, setting it to 25 seconds for the cooldown. After that, it's going to execute at that same player with the Death Swarm score being 25 at S. Then it's going to run a play animation. I'm going to change this to 0.5, and it's going to run the animation.armor_stand.entertain_pose. After that, it's going to start the same as the last one. It's going to be executing at that same player, and then it's going to run a play sound conduit.activate, and it's going to be heard for everyone within a radius of 5. Volume 1 and pitch 1. After that, it's going to execute at that same player again, except it's going to run a camera shake effect, add at S, and then the intensity is going to be 0.5, and the amount of time it lasts is 0.25 seconds. After that, you can execute at that same player again with the score equaling 25, and then it's going to run a structure load. It's going to load the structure for fish spawn 1, which we did earlier, and then you're just going to want to put in these same coordinates. After that, you can copy and paste that, except it's going to be fish spawn 2, and the coordinates are going to be slightly different. So this one is going to be the exact same again, except it's going to be for 3 this time, and the coordinates are also going to be a bit different. Same command again, except 4, and the coordinates are going to be different. And then after that, I believe that was the last one. Now this is going to be kind of like what we just did, except it's going to be for the particle effects, and it's going to be Minecraft knockback roar particle, then these coordinates. Again, you can just copy and paste that. Same exact thing, but different coordinates. Same thing, but different coordinates. And again, the same thing, but different coordinates. So that part is actually pretty easy despite it looking long. That's the reason why. And then finally, for command tower 1, we are going to execute at that same player, and then we are going to tag all of the tropical fish that spawn with another tag, which is going to be D fish for Dagon fish. Next, for the second tower, it's going to start repeating always active. What this is going to do is it's going to execute at any fish with the Dagon fish 1 tag, which is what we did for the fish spawn one, and it's going to make it so that it teleports towards the nearest entity or near the closest entity, whatever it is. Count equals 1 so that each of the tropical fish can go in a different location, and then we are going to again exclude all of these, and we're also going to exclude ourselves by putting tag equals and then exclamation point and DS, so excluding that tag. And then if you want this to be slower, you can change it to like 2 or 9, but basically don't make it go over 1, but this is how fast it moves towards the target. Moving up from that, I think again you could just copy and paste most of this, except you're going to want to change this to Dagon fish 2, and then you're going to want to change this run TP, these coordinates right here. Copy and paste that again, change the coordinates, and change this to Dagon fish 3. Everything else is the same, I believe. Again, except it's going to be for Dagon fish 4, and the coordinates are going to be also slightly different. Again, you can change these coordinates if you want, but I don't recommend it because I made them specifically so that they like evenly go out between different entities when you use it on multiple entities. Moving up from that, this is also going to be the second tower, repeating and always active. It's going to make it so that when the fish get near an entity or a player, it's going to tag that player with DST, which is going to be Death Swarm Target. So this is going to tag anyone within a radius of 1 of the fish, except for tropical fish in itself or the tag player who is using the ability. After that, it's going to basically be the reverse of that command we just did. It's going to start the same. It's going to be for tropical fish, except it's going to be unless the tropical fish are 2 radius away from any player, it's going to remove the target tag so they don't take damage when the fish go away from them. Finally, for the second tower, chain unconditional always active, and then this is just going to be the damage effect that is applied to anyone with the DST tag. The amount is going to be 1 because we don't want it doing too much damage, being too OP. Drowning because it's fish. When someone takes damage, it's going to say that the person who applied the damage was the person who is using the Death Swarm ability. Moving to the third tower, which is probably going to be the shortest one. It's just the cooldown stuff. So this is going to have a delay in ticks of 20, which is 1 second, meaning this is going to be repeating always active. And what this is going to do is every second it's going to remove 1 from the DS score, setting it from 25 back to 0, which is how the cooldown works. It's going to run this as long as the player's score is 1 or above, but once it gets to 0, it will stop. Separate from that, moving up, this is going to be repeating always active, delay in ticks is 0. This is going to show the cooldown when you're holding the fire coral. So as you can see here, it's going to execute unless the entity's score is 0, because then it's going to say ready rather than show the number 0. But for the rest of this, it's going to be run title raw, and then it's going to be for the player who has the DS tag or is using the ability, has item equals fire coral. Again, if you used another item or something, you're going to have to change that. Data is going to be 10. It's going to be in the main hand, so it only displays this if you are holding the item, looking at the item's cooldown. And then the action bar is going to display the raw text, the score, name, and then the objective, and the objective is going to be set to DS or Death Swarm. After that, chain unconditional always active. This is going to execute at that same player again unless the player's score is 1 or above, and it's going to run a title command again for if that same player is holding the item, the fire coral, in the main hand. The data is 10, and it's just going to say action bar ready. Moving on to the fourth tower, this one's going to be repeating and always active. This is going to execute for the tropical fish who have the D fish tag, and then it's going to execute, and then it's going to be for at S. If the player using Death Swarm has their score to be 15 or below, it's going to kill all of those fish. So that makes it so that the fish just aren't going on forever. And then next, this one is going to execute as any entity with the DST, the target, if the player using Death Swarm, the score is below 15, and then it's going to just remove the DST tag. So again, the people who are being targeted by the fish aren't taking damage after the fish despawn. After this is going to execute as, again, the fish, and it's going to run unless there are any entities within a radius of 20 that aren't an item, XP orb, minecart, armor stand, or the player using the ability or tropical fish. So that makes it so that when there isn't anything left to kill, these will just despawn instead of just like floating off into space. Following that, this is just going to run a play animation for the fish. Since they won't be in water, they would usually be like flopping around, but with the play animation added to all of the tropical fish with this D fish tag, it can just make it look like they're swimming through the air rather than flopping around in the air. Then finally for 4, this is going to be chain and always active again. It's going to execute as anyone with the DST tag or the Death Swarm target tag, unless the tropical fish with the D fish tag alive. So that makes it so that once all the tropic fish have died or disappeared, it's going to run tag and then remove DST just to make sure that nobody's taking extra damage or keeps the tag after the fish die. Alright, now moving on to the final tower, the 5th tower. This is just going to be like particles and all that stuff, so repeating and always active. And then this is going to execute as the player who is holding the item, being data 10, and the item is going to be fire coral at S, and then position. Then it's going to run the particle command, which is going to be water wake particle. You can change the particle if you want and the coordinates if you want, but personally I think this looks good. For the next one, you can basically just copy and paste that last command we did, except the coordinates are going to be different. Once again, you can just copy and paste everything else. It's going to start the same, the position, rotated, everything else, the one particle, except the coordinates are going to be different. And then this is the last particle, except once again the coordinates are going to be the only thing that changed. After that, it's going to execute at the player who is, again, holding the item, fire, coral, data 10. Again, if you have something else, you need to change that. Add a S, and then it's going to run an effect and give the player using it strength for 1 second, the intensity 2, and it'll be true, so there are no particles shown. By the way, guys, if you want the amount of strength or speed or anything to be higher, you can just change this one right here to like 20 or 200. I think the max is 255. So yeah, you can change that to be whatever you want, but I recommend keeping it like this if you want it to be balanced. After that, again, you can just copy and paste if you want, but change this effect to resistance, and then it's going to be 1, 2, true. Again, basically the same thing, except it's going to be speed 120. And then finally, going to be another effect command, except it's going to be jump boost 110 true. Now, once you're done with all of that, what should happen is you press this button, you get it in your hand, you should see these particles, you should be able to run faster, jump higher, all that stuff. Now when you crouch, nothing will happen. But when you summon a husk or any kind of entity, what should happen is when you crouch, summons a bunch of fish, and they go to attack the husk. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the entire video. If you did, I hope you guys enjoy the commands. Also remember, if you need any help in the comments, make sure to let me know. And make sure to join the Discord server if you want to join the community, add some more suggestions, do stuff like that. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you so much. And have a grid-tastic rest of your day.